experience can only come with time, but can also come with educating yourself. So where we can be of value to newer agents is walking them through some of the clauses.
Hi, I'm Maude Léger, and this is the Realtors Conspiracy Podcast, where we crack the code to real estate success. Learn from top realtors, entrepreneurs, and innovators about how to grow your business as we discuss real estate success stories, mindset, processes, motivations, and the key to their success. Check out our podcast episodes every Monday to crack the code to success for your real estate business. This week, I'm speaking with Barbara Frederikse from Frederikse Law in Burlington. Barbara is a local lawyer, and she shared her experience working with residential and commercial realtors. She shared her view on what is a successful realtor and how they can leverage their partnership with her firm, and also how integrity goes a long way. Let's get to my chat with Barbara. Hi Barbara, thanks for joining us on the episode today. Tell us, how can realtors stay on top of their game?
Thank you, Maude. It's a pleasure to be here. So realtors staying on top of their game. I mean, there's a lot of things that they have to know. You have to keep apprised, obviously, of the market, any changes in what's happening around us legally. From a purely marketing perspective, obviously, the more things that you can do to get your name out there, to build that reputation. I think reputation is so important. When I see from my own business, all of that word of mouth advertising. So ensuring that you're doing the best that you can for your clients, that you're giving lots of value added, because all of that helps make you outstanding with what you're doing. And that's where you get that great word of mouth advertising. You build up that great reputation. You get all that referral. You see certain pockets, certain markets of people talk. So it's so important to protect that reputation that you have and make sure that you develop that reputation for giving good service and having high integrity.
I love it. That's so true. Tell us a little bit about you and your business, and how can realtors leverage your business for their business?
So I am a real estate lawyer. I practice other areas as well, but a lot of what we do is real estate, both commercial and residential. And I've been practicing for 24 years, so have a few years behind me to call upon for experience. And I love to develop relationships with people. So with realtors, what I tend to do is we develop that relationship. If they have questions about things, I'm somebody who's there that can help them with their questions. I'm more than happy to, spend some time walking them through what the issues are, what the challenges may be, where their risks lie, and not just for them, but for their clients as well. So it's always nice to have that person in your corner that is there for you. I pride myself on the reputation that I've built, and I like to work with, just as I was speaking about reputation for the realtors, it's it goes both ways. I like to be able to give people names of realtors that I trust when they're looking for somebody, and I feel that when realtors are passing my name along to their clients, they know that they're going to be in good hands. We've always had great responses, great feedback. People find that we're very good to deal with, and we explain the process, and we take our time. This is not a factory. It's not cookie cutter. You're going to get personal attention. And I think that's what people want, and that's what people deserve.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting that you mentioned the risk, because there's a lot of risk involved, obviously. And then as a realtor, you don't actually know everything. You don't know about all the transactions possible, but you're there in their corner to help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And risk, like there's no risk-free transaction. And I think that, we always have to be upfront with our clients that, you're not going to be in a risk-free situation, but explaining where the risks may be and dealing with what their comfort level is with risk. So, we take the time to figure that out with people, and it's not simply, as I say, it's not a cookie cutter situation. Every deal is unique. Every person's situation is unique. And we want to do what's best for our clients. We want them to end up in a situation that is is good for them.
Yeah, no, totally. You mentioned you're there to answer questions. What would be like recurring questions that realtor ask you that every realtor should know that you have?
Um, so there's all kinds of unique things that show up. So we had a question not too long ago about what is an easement. So we can explain to the client about what an easement means. How is that going to affect the purchaser, or how is it going to affect the seller? What happens if they have if somebody has registrations against their property? So let's say they bought a furnace and they bought it and they financed it and there's a registration. What does that mean for them? How is that going to affect their closing? Um, what happens if you're selling on behalf of an estate? So somebody's passed away and the property is being sold by the executors of the estate.
Mhm.
Um, walking people through the lending situation, the financing situation. How is how is that going to change depending on what's happening in the market? So we've seen with the changes in the market recently, some people have run into a little bit of trouble with financing. So if they bought high, and their appraisals aren't coming back at the same level, then what do they do? And when you're dealing with somebody who's got experience and has gone through those things, then we have a better ability to walk people through what the situation is. We constantly keep up to date on what's going on in the industry. We see what the new developments and new recommendations by the Law Society. We see what other lawyers are saying about their transactions. So we're up to date on what's happening out there.
Yeah, no, that's true. Keeping on the latest news, latest trends, and what's going on the law side is important for sure.
Yeah.
What would you say are the three most valuable characteristics of your top realtors? Like, what do they have that makes them successful?
So personality. So and again, it goes to integrity. So we have dealt with some people that the client feels like the realtor is not in it for them, that they're only in it for their own commission. The people that I tend to work with, the the clients feel like they're getting good value for what the realtor is doing, that they're taking their time, they're explaining things to them, they're not pushing them into a deal that is not right for them, they're learning what it is that the client wants. um, Knowledge of the industry, so having that experience. Now experience can only come with time, but can also come with um, educating yourself.
Yeah.
So where we can be of value to newer agents is walking them through some of the clauses. Like it's important to understand when you're putting clauses in the agreement of purchase and sale, what those clauses mean, what that's going to mean for your client, and what that's going to mean in the long run in terms of home ownership, either when you're buying or selling.
Yeah.
Um, and then I mean, I don't know. Those really are the top two.
Yeah.
Try to think of what a third one would be, but those are the key ones. So honesty and integrity, and that personality, and then knowledge. And
Knowledge.
again, the knowledge can come just from the experience that you've got, and it can also come from the connections that you've got. So being able to put people in touch, putting their clients in touch with other people who have what I would hope is the high degree of integrity that the realtor has.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think being a new realtor doesn't mean you're not good yet. That means you just have to learn from leveraging people that are in your network or your partners, people like you. So that makes them a successful realtor for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
And common sense, like
yeah,
you can't underestimate how much common sense plays into something. So um we see sometimes people have a wish list of what they want, and it's never going to be achievable. And so you have to have enough, I guess, knowledge of dealing with people as to how do you get them to a place where they're going to be happy with what they're looking for or looking at,
yeah,
and realistic. I mean, if you're wanting a $2 million home on Lakeshore and your budget is for a bedroom condo, you have to be realistic about where you're going to land.
Mhm.
And it's up to the realtor to try and bring people along so that they understand what's happening in the market.
Yeah, to really like coach them into what they can get, what's available, what works, not just promise them, yes, yes, yes. I hear a lot of the yes realtors. Yes, you can sell for this much, or yes, you can buy for this low. But
Yeah. Yeah. And we hear and we see and hear that as well, where, a realtor might go in and try to get the listing and they promise a huge selling price, which is completely unrealistic. But I think that a lot of people they see through those for the most part. They they can feel integrity.
yes, no, totally. I get that. That's cool. And you're in business yourself. What would be the best advice you've ever received for your business as a lawyer?
Um, I think it goes back to when I was a young articling student,
Yeah.
and I think it has to do with you have to look yourself in the mirror every day and be satisfied with what you've done and who you are. So again, always having that high degree of integrity, like never leaving, putting something out there that where you're being not true to who you are and who you want to be. So um, and I think for us, that's how our business has grown. So when I started in business for myself back in 2017, I came by myself, hired a law clerk, and now we've got right now about 4 lawyers and 3 clerks, and that's because we've been always true to the values and building on the relationships that we have.
I love it. Looking at yourself at the end of the day, if you can still look in your own eyes, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. So you're working with realtors, your partner really for them. What are other key partners that a realtor should really have in their pocket, I guess, or in their toolkit?
Yeah, so obviously a lender, so a good mortgage agent who can walk you through, what options, because there's different options that are good for different people. So understanding what those options are and being able to point people in the right direction. Because again, if your budget is, for a small 1 bedroom condo, you want to make sure that somebody's going to qualify for that. And sometimes and understanding the whole lending process, so having somebody that can walk them through that process, that just because you qualify for a certain amount doesn't mean that's what you're going to end up getting in the end. um, Obviously having a good lawyer on your team, somebody that you can call on. Insurance, so having a good person that you can deal with insurance, because it's so frustrating when you're getting close to putting everything in place and the person can't get the insurance. Somebody's
Yeah.
dropped the ball, or that the insurance can't be put in as quickly as we need. So those are 3 key things that every realtor should have. And then of course there's all the nice to haves, right? You want to get your floors refinished, or you want to have some renovations done, or the home inspector, all of the other things that go along in the home buying process.
Yeah.
um, it's great to have those reputations. And again, you want those reputations, or you want that network to be genuine.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be just a situation where somebody's making a referral because they're getting a kickback. That's a bad way to build your network.
Oh, yeah.
It makes you look greedy. You lose integrity that way. And we don't take referral fees, and we don't pay out referral fees. The referrals that we do are to ensure that people are getting good representation. So if we're referring you to a mortgage agent, it's because that's a mortgage agent that we've worked with in the past, and that we know is going to do a good job for people. It's not because somebody's going to give us something in return.
No, it's more integrity behind. They're gonna take care of you, and it's a win-win because you know the deal's gonna go through or it's gonna go smoothly because you trust that person, that they're not
Yeah.
gonna drop the ball. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Very cool. What are you excited about in the future of real estate for this year in 2023?
Well, right now I'm excited for interest rates to come down so that people can afford things again, because it is a little bit scary out there. I know a lot of people who are on variable rate mortgages, and they're just kind of holding their breath, waiting for the rates to come down. And I think it will come down.
Yeah.
Um, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because with rates going up a little bit, I think prices are coming down a little bit, which is great for the first-time home buyer. It's not as great for people who were thinking that they have a certain amount of equity in their home.
Yeah.
But I am also looking for the more realistic market. So, I think there's a lot of people out there who have high hopes as to what their properties are worth because things have been going up so high and so quickly. But I think to have that, I think there should be a little bit of a correction. I think there should be more realism as far as what the market should bear, because I think it would be nice for it to be a little more even, for people to be able to for normal people to be able to afford home ownership and not make it so that it's only the wealthy that can afford to do this.
Yeah, more balanced, even buyers and sellers, a more balanced market, I guess, would be the best way to
Yeah.
put it.
Yeah, and that's good. I think that's good for everyone. I know when the market was super hot, it was really tough for people. You had to put in, if you're a first time home buyer and you're buying on a condo, for example, you had to get the status certificate reviewed. And, you might have been paying to get that status certificate reviewed and then not even have your offer be kind of in the running. So I believe everybody likes the market to be just a little bit more normal so that people can make a good decision about what they're getting, that they can put a realistic offer in, that they can take a look at the property, make sure that it is what they're looking for and not do the panic buy.
Yeah, totally. Avoiding the panic buys is such a perfect way to put it, because then there's remorse later or regrets. There's so much going on when it's panicky versus a calm and collected transaction.
Yeah. Yeah. But those market shifts are so hard for people. So,
Yeah.
when it was a market where you had to buy before you could sell because you never knew what you were going to be successful in, and then like overnight things switched,
Yeah.
people got caught off guard, and it really breaks my heart, and I don't think there's any way to foresee that and to control it.
Mhm.
Especially if you're trying to enter the market, sometimes you have to take that leap of faith. And
Yeah.
I guess one of the things I would say to people too is looking at trying to be realistic about what home ownership is. So are you buying it because you're looking at it as an investment, or are you buying it to look at it as, a place where you can put down roots, or, have whatever future entails for you, whether it's raising a family or moving your parents in, or whatever stage you're at. Because that investment side of it may not come to fruition, or it may not come to fruition as quickly as you thought, or, who knows, maybe it's something that you're going to leave to the next generation because you're able to make it your forever home. So.
Forever home, yeah, for sure. I totally get that. Nice. Well, thank you. Where do we find you? Where do people get in touch with you to do their next real estate transaction?
So I'm in Burlington. I'm in 4391 Harvester Road, so Harvester and Appleby. You can find me on the web at www.frederlaw.ca. I'm on social media, and I try to get out to as many community events as I can.
Yes, very good. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing so much advice for realtors and so much honesty and integrity to this world. I think that's amazing.
Well, thank you for having me, Maud. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for joining. If you enjoyed this interview, please share.